Hi folks, thanks for joining me today. We're at the closing bell of the FTSE 100 and all eyes are on HSBC today. So HSBC released a piece of news at 11:30 and as you can see that caused a major spike in the share price. So what was that news and how is HSBC going to finish? Well, we can see we've got 1 minute left and we can see that HSBC is sitting around 4.7% up for the day. So obviously it was good news. So I'm going to show you how I look into that news and let's have a look at what it means. So we can see that obviously a big spike in the share price, which is positive news. I normally go to lse.co.uk. They are London South East and it's a great website which issues all the news from the London Stock Exchange as soon as it's released. So you can see here along the top you've got a bunch of different icons and here you'll see live RNS and you can see this for any company. You can search for any company. So you click on that and it will take you to all of their news and you can see here we have the news at 11:30 today. HSBC agrees to sell its business in Canada to RBC. So RBC is the Royal Bank of Canada. And HSBC had its Canadian operations there, and so it was looking to exit for quite a while, and so that came as a little bit of a surprise to the market, and HSBC share price shot up. So what does this actually mean? Well, let's have a look at the news. HSBC has achieved a cash consideration of Canadian dollars, 13.5 billion Canadian dollars. And what we can do is we can go on to xe.co.uk and we can see what the exchange rate for CAD to GBP is. Let's go 13.5 billion. Okay, so 13.5, that equals 8.28 billion pounds. So that's what HSBC is going to be getting in, is 8.28 billion pounds in cash. And what that means is that's going to be a cash boost to HSBC's balance sheet. And they don't have to run that Canadian business. They can have a leaner operation split across the sort of UK, China and the rest of the world. So what HSBC have also said, which is why the share price rose, they announced that the board is going to proactively consider appropriate amount of capital surplus created by this transaction to be returned through a one-off dividend and or share buybacks. So that's in addition to any share buyback program. So that is why the share price jumped so much today. And honestly, I personally would expect the share price to continue a little bit more because HSBC's dividend isn't even mentioned here, their regular dividend, and that should be about 5 to 6%. So it's 5 to 6% dividend and an existing share buyback scheme. And then on top of that, they're saying that a potential sort of 8.28 billion sort of one-off dividend or share buyback. Now, if we look at HSBC's what's it called, market cap, then we can see what percentage that would be. So let's see, it says here a market capitalization of 100 million pounds worth. So that is 8% that this transaction has generated as a proportion of HSBC's market capitalization, which means that we could expect a maximum of an 8% one-off dividend or a combination of dividend and share buybacks. So that is why the share price has gone up so much, but we will have to just see how things go. So that's the day finished, that's the day over, and we can see that HSBC finished at £5.11. How does that compare year to date? Well, you can see we've had a bit of a torrid time in the whole market, and the share price actually dropped to around about £4.40, and just since over the past sort of 2 weeks to month, it's jumped back up, and then today was quite a significant day. But we're still quite far off the highs that it set earlier on in the year, way back in February, of £5.67, and you can see that still up until this point here, we're still down around about 10% from that high. So we're still trying to regain those highs. However, if we look at the 5-year graph, we can see that HSBC almost touched £8, and we're down sort of 35% from there. So it's a question of sort of investors are still thinking that there's quite a lot of risk within HSBC's business and they don't have the confidence in it still. It's hard to tell whether we're going to go back up to that sort of price again. HSBC will have to show that they can continue to perform like they used to in the past and have a good dividend and a good capital return. Or maybe we'll see that HSBC's business won't be able to perform as well as it did in the past. That's kind of what it's kind of looking like at the moment. That we just don't know. And that's why the share price goes up and down. And you can see over the past, just like a lot of blue chips, the share price tends to absolutely drop, and then it rises back up again and drops and rises and drops and rises. So we've got a bit of a roller coaster going on, and it's management definitely has incentive to increase the share price, to increase shareholder returns and their own returns as well, because the management will hold a large amount of shares. So there you go. Hopefully that gives a bit of insight into what happened today, because it was quite a nice surprise to kind of log on to my app this morning and then see that it was an okay day, it wasn't too bad. And then after sort of like 11:30 to midday, I was like, what's going on here? The numbers on my portfolio looked quite good, so I was thinking, what's that to do with? And it was down to this. So it's really good to see this, and we'll see kind of what happens in terms of the dividend and share buyback, and I'll give you a further update when we know. So hope you had a great day today, guys. It's obviously Monday, so it's not the best day of the week, but I don't know, I thought it was a pretty good day today. There we go. I will leave any sort of comments if you want down below, and let me know what you think. I will leave the link to the London South East piece of news just down below in the comments, so you can have a look at that if you want and read more about what that piece of news has to say. But otherwise, I will catch you on the next video.